Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe, and welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Amelia Buckley.
And I'm Carissa Garcia.
And we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help get us all focused on what's going right in the world.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, and home office-worthy podcast. Today is Thursday, the 23rd of December, 2021. Hi, Amelia.
Are you home for the holidays yet?
Yes, I am. I just got home this past weekend, and I'm enjoying spending time up here. Are you home yet?
Yes, I am home as well. It is very rainy in Northern California, but it is much needed, so we're enjoying it up here and just taking it easy, gearing up for the holidays. Nothing too special on the agenda, just relaxing and eating good food and stuff. But I must tell you, this is my last Optimist Daily update ever that I will be on. So it's a special day.
Gosh, this is a special day. I didn't even realize it was the last time. I'm coming on and you're leaving. So.
I know. I'm kind of sad. I'm sad about it. It's bittersweet, but I'm excited to be recording today, especially because I feel like I'm in the holiday cheer. So I'm excited to share that with our listeners.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm excited that I get to share your last episode ever with you.
Oh, thank you. Does your family have any special holiday traditions that you always do?
Not really. We just take Christmas pretty chill. We all gather with my extended family this year. I don't know how much of our extended family will be coming over, but we gather on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we usually just watch movies all day and relax. So very chill. What about you? Do you have any good traditions?
No really big ones. We usually go for a beach walk though on Christmas morning. That is, we usually will do coffee and breakfast and then do a beach walk, and then we do presents kind of more in the early afternoon.
Yeah.
When everyone's more awake.
Yeah. Exactly.
But luckily my extended family lives nearby also. So, it's usually a few people join us, whether it's my grandparents or my aunt, uncle and stuff, whoever wants to make the trek over, but it's a pretty casual holiday around here too. But I'm excited this year because I do get to see, a few of my relatives that I didn't get to see last year, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, that will be so nice.
Well, we have a special couple of stories on the Optimist Daily today. These are our last actually stories before we go into our best of series. So for listeners that don't know, over the holiday, the Optimist Daily, the way that we do it is we do our best of series where each day we pick a different theme and we share our favorite and your favorite stories from the year. So we'll have episodes running every day that's not Christmas Eve, Christmas, or New Year's Eve about those stories. And so you'll get more pods, but these are our last kind of real original stories that we haven't run before of 2021. So without further ado, Carissa, what do you want to talk about today on the pod?
So today I'm talking about how Scotland blew up its last coal plant as part of its green energy transition. So in recent years, an increasing number of countries have moved away from coal in an effort to meet their climate targets, and Scotland is no exception. And they recently severed its ties with fossil fuels back in 2016 when it shut down its last remaining coal power plant. But last week, the government officials blew up that same plant in a visual reminder of the end of coal-fired power generation in the country, marking a new era for the energy sector dominated by renewable energy. So this explosion was meant to be a symbolic reflection of the demise of coal, as renewables are marching onwards to become the largest source of power generation in the country. In 2020 alone, Scotland managed to supply more than 97% of its electricity demand with renewables. And in 2011, that figure was just 37%. So
That's so impressive.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing?
That's so cool.
I think that's a very good sign for other countries to follow suit. Because in just, 5 short years, they got it down so much.
Mm-hmm. And Scotland has that cool, the Orkney Islands, which is part of Scotland. They have that really cool hydropower initiative, but it's ocean power. So they have a offshore system that captures wave energy to provide green energy. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is so cool. And
That's like one of my favorite stories. I don't think it's in the best of, but that's my personal favorite from Story of the Year. I think must be that one because it's so innovative. It's like hydropower, but it's more predictable because, tides don't change as much as like river flow does. So it's like super predictable regenerative power in that system. So very cool. I love it.
Yes.
I wonder if they got like an audience got to watch this thing get blown up or not.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. I wonder how big of a show it was.
In like wild like westerns, they have like they'll blow up like sections of rock to like build the railroad or whatever, and they have like the thing that they push down. That's what I'm imagining, but I think it was probably a little less like cartoonish than that.
Yeah, probably, but that's exactly what came to my head too, this big show. But I'm sure it was more safe than a cartoon depiction, so
it's not like Bugs Bunny. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
So yours was about green energy. Mine is about green spaces. So we're on a little bit of a green theme, but in different veins today. My headline that I wanted to talk about reads, "Study confirms that access to nature in urban areas reduces loneliness." So I'm a sucker for the natural world. I think as listeners know, I love to hike and bike and backpack and ski and pretty much do anything that's outdoors. So this one caught my eye. And this is talking about a study that looked at the impact of natural spaces on loneliness in urban areas. And we've written before a lot about how green space, especially in urban areas, is really good for public health and also mental health. And this is kind of looking at the loneliness aspect of mental health specifically. And according to the research team, they found out that loneliness can raise a person's risk of death by 45%. But using real-time data collected via a smartphone app, they found that when people in urban areas were surrounded by green space, they saw feelings of loneliness decrease by 28%. And they did this by investigating 750 urban citizens worldwide. And they submitted more than 16,000 real-time assessments answering questions like, do you feel welcome among the people around you? And can you see trees right now? So kind of assessing how they were feeling and where they were. And they found that even when they accounted for factors like age, ethnicity, education, and occupation, there was still that connection between nature and reduced feelings of loneliness, especially when they combined feelings of social inclusion with natural spaces. They were able to decrease loneliness from 28% and then down another 18% past that even. So the most effective way was to not only get people like seeing other people, but also in natural spaces. So basically, if you live in an urban area and you're feeling lonely, the key is perhaps a hike with a friend, it sounds like.
Oh, wow. I love that story. I'm surprised that the percentages are, that's a very surprising statistic. So,
yeah, it's wonderful, which I understand, honestly, because I've lived, in big cities and in pretty rural areas. And I find a pretty strong correlation between like my mental health and the green space around me and like loneliness and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. Me too.
I can definitely relate to this study. But yeah, that's very cool. I think we have a couple other great stories on the Optimist Daily today. What other ones do we have?
Let's see. So a couple other headlines we have include a new battery biodegrades after a month in soil. Ancient comet solves the puzzle of scattered glass in Chilean desert. Small things can make a huge difference for mothers with depression, and researchers spot Turkish fish for the first time since 1974.
That Turkish fish story is really cool, by the way. I recommend that people check it out. Ariel was on the pod yesterday talking about a bird conservation initiative and how they had a list of like the most rare birds that they were trying to spot. This story is actually also from the organization. It's called Rewild, and this is like the fish version of their bird initiative, and they actually found one of the fish. So it's pretty exciting. The bird story is linked in there, so you can check them both out together. Highly recommend them. What other stories we got? We got researchers determine the evolution path of ancient giant orangutan. U.S. government lays out ambitious plan to replace all lead pipes. New Hampshire mom designs an innovative car seat friendly coat for kids. And the United Arab Emirates decides to stop censoring movies. And we've got that and more, as always, on theoptimistdaily.com. Thank you guys all for tuning into the Optimist Daily update today. We will be back with more best of stories next week on the pod. But for now, we're wishing you a happy holidays from the Optimist Daily. And we promise to continue to share positive, solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it is changed for the good. We promise to cover the current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
Please consider becoming an emissary on optimistdaily.com, and for just $5 a month, support reader-funded independent journalism. Be part of the solution-changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Let's keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who can. Thanks, everybody, and happy holidays.
We will be back next week with more solutions.